On today's Smart 7, 1 million young people face shrinking future. Trump floats new Iran deal but won't sign yet, and much more. It's Friday 29th of May. It's National Biscuit Day, and happy birthday, Mel B.
The Smart 7. It's news,
but not the news.
A major new report suggests that job opportunities for young people are shrinking and that 1 in 6 could be out of work, education or training in 5 years unless action is taken. The report, which was prepared by former Minister Alan Milburn, sounds an alarm that the education, health and welfare systems are not fit for purpose when it comes to preparing young people for adult life.
This began decades ago. It's been going on for years and years. There are 1.6 million fewer entry-level jobs now in the economy, low and medium-skilled jobs, than there were at the beginning of the century.
So the COVID pandemic and the UK's stuttering economy have added to a difficult environment that risks a lost generation, and more than 1 million people are now classified as NEETs. That's not in employment, education or training. The second phase of the report is due to suggest solutions, but Prime Minister Keir Starmer was sounding suitably alarmed.
It's complicated and complex, as Alan Milburn makes clear. There's no single thing that you can say that's the reason. So obviously we will now work with Alan on what more needs to be done.
Donald Trump circulated a draft version of a new peace deal with Iran to allies on Thursday. The deal, which would see a further 60-day ceasefire and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, doesn't appear to deal with any of the bigger issues, like Iran's nuclear stockpile. It's not clear if or when Donald Trump might sign off on the deal, but if the pace of his involvement in peace talks on Russia's war in Ukraine is anything to go by, it may take some time. Ukrainian President Zelensky was in Sweden on Thursday, closing a new deal for fighter jets and continuing to request more assistance from the US for anti-missile defences.
Russia, as of now, diplomacy cannot stop Russia. We are stopping them with our long-range sanctions, and we very much ask our American partners to help us with allocating bigger number of anti-ballistic missiles.
EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas attended an informal meeting with EU foreign ministers on Thursday, and she says that Russia is on the back foot, and now is the time to keep up the pressure. Europe is preparing for a possible direct role in future peace talks.
We are defending the interests of Europe and the interest of Ukraine, because Ukraine is also in Europe. So we can't be mediators, we can't be neutral, treating them equally, because we have been clearly on Ukraine's side.
This week's intervention by former Labour Prime Minister Tony Blair didn't go down well with most of the current Labour Party, it seems. Andy Burnham, who is hoping to be re-elected to the Commons if he wins the Makerfield by-election, criticised his former boss for failing to understand the inequality in the current economy. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, not to be outdone, wrote his own 3,000-word essay rebutting Blair's complaints, although he did concede that some of the mood music around the economy was too negative in the early days of his government. He spoke to Sky News to make the case that his policy choices will take some time to pay off.
You won't be surprised to know that I don't agree with much what Tony says about what the government is doing. We can all argue about individual policies, but the real question is, what's the change, what's the difference that is happening in a country that we inherited 2 years ago in a very poor place?
Donald Trump's approval rating on the economy has shrunk to a new low of just 30%, while 77% of Americans think that his policies have increased the cost of living in their communities. That's according to a CNN poll, but as we've seen many times by now, the Trump administration will continue to blame their economic woes on Joe Biden. It seems unfair given Biden had to mop up Trump's mess after the COVID pandemic, but Biden's withdrawal from the election after the famous CNN debate gave Trump a head start in the 2024 race. It turns out we weren't the only ones alarmed by President Biden's performance in that debate, as Jill Biden revealed on Thursday that she thought her husband was having a serious medical issue.
I wasn't horrified, I was frightened, because I had never seen Joe like that before or since. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke.
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro, tennis stars wilt in Paris heat, and He-Man is sounding a little bit woke. Right after this. Welcome back.
3,
The French Open at Roland Garros has seen major stars fall by the wayside, and it's only early days in the tournament. The blistering heat, which has seen matches played in 34 degrees, certainly isn't helping, with Katie Bolton knocked out on Thursday in a second-round match, leaving no British player in the singles for the third round. Yannick Sinner also suffered a shock defeat, crashing out to Juan Manuel Cerundolo over 5 sets after complaining about feeling dizzy and having to take a medical break. There was good news for French teen sensation Moise Kwame, who is through to the third round, becoming the youngest man since Rafa Nadal to go that far in a major tournament.
Winning Roland Garros is of course a dream. Winning all 4 is a dream. Actually, being world number 1 is also a dream, but I think thinking about winning the tournament is a bit early, I think.
Nicholas Galitzine is a busy boy. He's been in TV shows, musicals and horror movies, along with romantic comedies like Red, White and Royal Blue and the Sky Period drama Mary and George. In his spare time, he's a model for Fendi and a global fragrance ambassador for Emporio Armani. Somehow, with all of that, he's also found enough time at the gym to land the iconic role of shirtless hero He-Man in the new Masters of the Universe movie. He says it's not easy these days, playing a cartoon strongman in real life.
When you're fighting guys who have skulls for a face, it's important to have big muscles, but it's also important to be able to empower the people around you with communication and sensitivity. And to me, that's what it is to be a good man in a lot of ways.
If I told you there was a movie on the way which starred Al Pacino, Martin Scorsese, Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot and many more, you'd probably be quite excited. If I said it was written and directed by Academy Award nominee and Golden Globe winner Julian Schnabel, you'd be even more excited. But if I told you the plot involves time jumps between the 14th century and the present day, a mob boss and a missing manuscript of Dante's Divine Comedy, you might be slightly less enthusiastic. Variety called it a pulsating folly, and you can see what you think when it drops on Netflix on June 24th.
Who's Dante?
Who's Dante? Behold, a deity stronger than I who coming shall rule over me. What?
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.